In today's video, I'm going to take you through a case study for a bankruptcy attorney that is focused on lead generation on Google Ads pay-per-click. Just wanted to share the results over a 60-day period, as well as share some secret behind-the-scenes strategies that you can use in order to generate similar types of results. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So overall, for over a 60-day period, the conversion rate was 16.94%. The average conversion rate in the industry is about a 5%. So the fact that we're able to get 3 times the average is really strong, and more than 3 times actually. But it's really strong, just goes to show that we have a really strong landing page and conversion mechanism. Now, let's talk about conversions. We brought in 51 conversions, which is a combination of phone calls and form submissions over a 60-day period. So it's almost one every day or every other day or so forth. So really the amount of conversions that came in contributed to that cost per lead, which is the next cost per conversion or cost per lead. Our cost per conversion came out to $85, or cost per lead came out to $85.06. And on average in this industry, I see cost per conversions or leads in the $100 range or more, depending on how competitive the market is. And for this specific client, they've got about 10 different competitors at all times. So it is really cutthroat. It is very competitive. So the fact that we're able to get it down below an industry average and still bring in a good amount of cases for this client, that's really strong. And then on top of that, let's talk about the cost. In terms of the total cost of $4,300 plus, around that range. So we spent about $2,000 a month in order to generate these results. Now let's go ahead and dive into the actual strategy here. So let's talk about the audience. So what's the type of audience that a bankruptcy attorney is looking for their ideal client and the type of lead that they're trying to generate? Typically, these people will go through some type of life stage that's going to trigger them to want to file a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And I've listed some of these here: loss of job, divorce, consumer debt issues, credit card. A lot of times they will get some harassing creditors calling them, getting them to pay them back, trying to get them to pay them back at least. Medical debt, foreclosures, repos, and just a lot of these people are dealing with like financial crises, and just looking for a way to get peace of mind and get a fresh financial start. A lot of these people tend to not be as good with taking care of their finances, but some of them may have fallen into medical debt, which they wouldn't be able to fully control. But on that front, this is just the type of audience that the bankruptcy attorneys that I work with are looking to capture. Now, a lot of times they are looking for people that are close by or more local, and a lot of the leads tend to like to work with more local attorneys so that they can go in and see them. But a lot of attorneys now don't need their clients to come in for a face-to-face meeting. Everything can be done via Zoom or through a phone call. So that's the audience. It doesn't necessarily fall in a specific age demographic. Typically though, what I have seen, it's like 30s plus. But sometimes there will be some people like young and a little bit younger too. But typically too, like the people that can afford the services tend to be a little bit older. That's what I've seen from my experience. And then let's go ahead and talk about the campaigns and ad groups here. This is what you want to include in your account for a successful campaign. Number 1, bankruptcy, lawyer, and attorney specific keywords. Very, very important. That's who you are. That's what you're trying to capture when someone's looking for a bankruptcy attorney or a lawyer. So you better make sure that you're appearing for that. but also be mindful that these are very expensive keywords. I've seen them cost $40 or more in some areas. So that's something that I want you to pay very close attention to. Second up would be chapter 7, and then third would be chapter 13 specific keywords. A lot of people actually don't realize what type of bankruptcy they need. So they'll self-select. They may even say that they need a chapter 11, but chapter 11, a lot of bankruptcy attorneys don't offer that service, and chapter 11 is not necessarily for consumers. So that's something that people might think that they might try to prescribe themselves a medication for something that they don't even need. But it's very important to go after these keywords, but also make sure you have a good negative keyword list, because you don't want to be attracting someone looking for chapter 7 of a Harry Potter or some book, right? So chapter 7 and chapter 13 keywords, you need to make sure that you have those in your campaign. And then on top of that, life stage issue. So this goes back to the audience section that I was mentioning earlier here. So someone that's mentioning something about bankruptcy after divorce, bankruptcy for divorce, credit card attorney, medical debt issues or medical debt attorney, foreclosure attorney. So we want to make sure that you have these life stage issues in your campaign builds and in your keyword sets, because these are a lot of what people are searching for as well in order to capture that right audience. Next would be geolocation. So whatever location, if you are in the Los Angeles area, you want to say something like Los Angeles bankruptcy attorney, La Habra bankruptcy attorney, Orange County bankruptcy attorney. So the location plus whatever you are or your service. And then lastly, when it comes to brand, should you bid on your own brand keywords? This one's a little bit of a trickier question to answer, because you might be actually attracting your current clients through your PPC campaign. I would say that if you do a lot of brand awareness campaigns, like whether it's radio or TV or like billboards, I think it's worthwhile to go after brand because they are affordable. I still think it's a good idea to go after brand, even if you don't do those big awareness pushes. But if you are on a very limited approach, then it's kind of a toss up whether you should do it or not, because a lot of the people that are going to be looking for your brand are going to be your existing clients, unless someone that's looking for your brand is a referral. But they could also find you through like SEO. So that's another thing as well. So it's just, do you have the budget to afford it? And typically brand keywords are very cheap. It's like less than $1. So, if you can afford that, putting out budget for a bankruptcy attorney campaign, I think you can afford to put out to protect your own brand name. So definitely would consider that. And then on top of that, a negative keyword list. Please make sure you have a strong negative keyword list in place, especially if you're using phrase match keywords. Phrase match is pretty much the equivalent of the new broad match. It's very dangerous. So just make sure that you have a strong negative keyword list. Block out things like book and, different keywords that could be triggered that's not relevant to you. Whether someone's looking for a pro bono attorney but you're not pro bono, you want to mention that as a negative keyword as well to block them out. And then lastly, let's talk about the landing page. So when it comes to high converting landing pages, of course you need your phone number, you need your form. I already have a video on landing page best practices. I can go ahead and link in the description below. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the important elements that you need. Number one, try not to use cheesy stock photos. I think every bankruptcy attorney is using the same ones. So try to use real pictures of yourself, of people in your office, and so forth. Or at least try to choose stock images that are, not as common. And then on top of that, make your landing page emotional. There's gotta be a lot of empathy, because people that are going through this type of situation, whether they're going to lose their house or lose their car or they're drowning in so much debt. We want to make sure that we have empathy for the end user and show them exactly how we can help them out. So that's another thing. And then showcase all your services. Do you just do chapter 7s and 13s? Or do you do debt settlements and other things beyond that? And then this shouldn't be here. Include a video introduction. And then the last question that is very common that we get is, should you post fees? If you are a bankruptcy attorney that is looking to be the cheapest in your area, then yeah, you should post your fees because people are going to be price shopping. But if you're not the cheapest one in your area, I wouldn't post that. And I would just use the consultation as a selling point in order to try to retain the client. And that's it for this video. If you found this video helpful, I would love if you can give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to this channel. And if you are a bankruptcy attorney looking for help with your PPC, Google Ads campaigns for lead generation, please feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to have a consultation with you and do an audit of your account. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.